has been paid for by the New World Order.
Okay, so you're probably looking at the thumbnail and the title of the video like,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
yeah, let me explain. What's up, everybody? It's your man, Big Dog here. Welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be what I consider a fairly sensitive one, in the sense that we're going to talk about why gaming is in a really bad spot now. Now, excuse me, before you guys get your pitchforks out and everything, just calm down, relax for a little bit, and just watch the video in full if you can before you make any snap judgments, all right? I understand. Like I said, I know this is a sensitive topic, but it's something that needs to be talked about. The gaming is in a really weird spot right now. While there's some great stuff coming out, like Witcher 4 and God, that's the only one I can really think of right now. And GTA 6, there we go. GTA 6, what's another? And let's not forget about the Nintendo Switch 2 and all that craziness that's happening. But like I said, there's also some negative stuff about the gaming industry that needs to be talked about. It needs to be called out. And I'm going to do it. I know a bunch of people have done it before, but I'm going to fucking do it again. We're going to do it again. But anyway, let's get on to the first section of this video. Kicking off the video, we're going to talk about something that recently came up again, and that is the continuous rise in pricing when it comes to video games. Now, you guys probably saw it in the news recently that GTA 6 is rumored to be retailing at $100 for the base game, mind you. Base game. Now, I know this is just a rumor and all, but there's also another piece to this also. There's also been, well, it's not, this one is not really a rumor, but this one has recently come out that apparently Nintendo is going to be charging $80 for their digital games for the Switch 2 and $90 for physical games for the Switch 2. Now, I gotta be honest with you, again, I don't like this continuous rise in pricing, because look, I get it, games are getting expensive and all, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man, like, cut us a break. At this point, stuff is just getting, like, at this point, people are gonna get priced out of gaming with $80 game prices, with graphics cards that are being sold at like thousands of dollars a piece. Not to mention the tariffs not helping, but I'm not going to get too into that one. Like, it's hard for me to really justify the rise in prices, especially with the quality of games, which I'm going to get into a little later. But yeah, I don't know, man. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot because this was a hobby that I picked up when I was a kid. First console I had, if I remember correctly, was a PlayStation 2. And honestly, it's one of those things that I've really enjoyed. Now that I'm an adult, and now that we see prices going up, the economy becoming more and more unstable, it's hard for me to enjoy these things. And I get people from older generations looking at people my age like, you should be enjoying your life. You should be enjoying your life. I'm like, I mean, true, but it's easier said than done when you got prices going up the wazoo all the time. So, yeah. Honestly, do I think GTA 6 is going to be priced at $100? I don't know. It wouldn't really surprise me at this rate. Take-Two is one of those companies that's extremely greedy. And they were one of the few gaming companies that jumped on the $70 bandwagon when the price went up to $70. Them, Activision, EA, like, they're extremely, I hate to say this, but they're extremely greedy companies. I understand they have to make money. I understand they've got shareholders to please. I get all that, but there's got to be a way to do this without screwing over your hard-earned customers. people that have been with you since day one. But I don't know anymore, man. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay, next topic to talk about is the lack of ownership when it comes to modern gaming. Now, this one came up not too long ago when a Ubisoft executive literally came out and said that gamers need to get used to not owning their games. And this is another one that kind of irks me a little bit, because it's like, first things first, it's bad enough that they're already increasing the prices of games. Now you're telling me that I don't own anything that I paid for, that I'm paying close to $70, $80, and now allegedly $100? Like, are you serious right now,
bro?
Like, you can't be serious. You're gonna sit here and tell me that I don't own something just because you want to be able to get rid of it when you want to, because you don't want to support it anymore because you're lazy. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. And then this is the worst part. This is the worst part. And then when people start pirating their games, when these companies have to deal with piracy, they're like, oh, this is stealing. This is wrong. And it's like, is it though? Because it's not like you're doing a great job preserving your games. And let's be real, Nintendo is the biggest culprit of this. Hell, they're doing it now. They've been doing it. They've been going after torrenting companies, which, again, I understand. Technically speaking, piracy is illegal. I agree. And listen, I'm not saying that piracy is a good thing, but at this rate, if people want to preserve the games that they're paying for, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's looking like this is gonna become the only way to preserve games, and the only way to free people to own the games that they want to own. Because let's be real, these companies, what's stopping them from taking a game away? Hell, Ubisoft did it recently to The Crew. Even though that game wasn't the best, like, still, man, you literally went out of your way to get rid of the game. That's not cool. And now people that actually wanted to play it, they can't play it anymore. So, I don't know. I don't really see that as something that can be really, what's the word? Something that can really be justified. And it's hard for me to sit here and listen to these companies complain about piracy when it's like, well, what's the alternative? The alternative is paying for something that I don't own that can be taken away from me at any means necessary, or like on a whim. Like, I don't know, man. Me personally, I'm not for that. And if you're someone that defends this, I'm not gonna try and be mean to you, but I'm gonna look at you sideways, because it's like, yes, these companies need to make money, but at the same time, it's like, what happens to the people that still want to play these games, even though the company doesn't want to support them? Like, what are you doing for these people? Why not, instead of going after these piracy sites, how about giving them a small stipend to say, hey, we see you want to preserve our games. Here's a tiny little stipend. I know this may sound expensive and easier said than done, but hey, it's better than nothing. Give them something small. Say, hey, listen, we see you doing that. Here's, like, I don't know. You can make up whatever arbitrary number you want. Here you go. You want to preserve the game? We'll give you a small stipend to do so. I guarantee you, if you do that, piracy would dip. It wouldn't go away completely, but it will. The chances of people pirating their games would probably decrease. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, let's get on to the next topic. Next topic is going to be quality of games. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, what are you talking about when it comes to that? Well, let me answer that for you by asking you another question. What do games like Cyberpunk 2077, Battlefield 2042, and GTA the Definitive Edition have in common? And if you said that they all came out with buggy starts or buggy launches, you'd be absolutely correct. this is one of those things that has become a huge problem in games ever since the advent of games going online, where when companies release a game, almost all the time they have to have a day one patch because the game is either extremely buggy at launch or it has some features that the game devs forgot to put in, which in my opinion is kind of not a great thing. Now, there are games that do come out at launch that still end up being good in spite of these bugs, but there are a lot of times where, I'll give you a perfect example. Cyberpunk. I really wanted to like that game, but the way it came out just really rubbed me the wrong way. Now, granted, it did make a huge comeback, and I'm grateful that it did, but it shouldn't have had to do that had the game come out properly. If anything, it probably should have been delayed again. Yeah, people would have been upset, but at least it would have been in a playable state. But what do I know? Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and let's move on to the next and final topic. Alright, final topic of the video is artificial intelligence. Now, you guys are gonna probably be like, wait a minute, what do you mean artificial intelligence? Well, if you guys can probably, as you guys can probably guess, gaming companies are now starting to use artificial intelligence for a lot of their game making processes. For example, Activision, they got caught recently trying to promote AI generated art for their most recent Call of Duty, and it was a huge controversy and all that. Hell, it got so bad that apparently a bunch of the actors for Black Ops 6 Zombies ended up quitting because they were not being protected from artificial intelligence from losing, because they don't want to lose their jobs to artificial intelligence, which is understandable. Nobody wants to lose their job. I don't want to ever see people lose their job. But it kind of just shows you what happens when a new tool becomes trendy. And it's not just in the gaming industry, it's in industries in general. Once one company uses something, then everybody's got to use it. And then it gets to the point where it's like, you guys are pretty much beating a dead horse here. So, yeah, I don't know. Do I think artificial intelligence will take over? Probably not. At least not in the time people think it will. But, hey, you never really know. Let me know what you guys think. So in conclusion here, I will say this. There are a lot of things to look forward to in the gaming space. However, there are also a lot of things that it's kind of hard for me and other people to ignore. And quite frankly, I'm a little nervous to see what gaming is going to become. I don't know. Am I being too negative? Am I being too pessimistic? Let me know in the comments section below the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm greatly appreciative of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you later. Peace.